Hi, and welcome to the premiere of episode 2 of Pizza Talk with Dan Hickey. Today we have a brand new set, everything's upgraded, everything's a lot better, and here we are today with Joe Lalich.
Hello? Yes, this is Dan Hickey. Pizza Talk today? Hi, welcome to Pizza Talk. I'm your host, Dan Hickey.
We're going to try out a new segment. Because the first episode was so popular, we're going to do some pizza emails. So here's some emails that I received involving the program.
You got pizza mail.
Meet hot singles in your area today, and all they needed was my social security number. What a deal. And they got it. Now, we go a little bit down here on the list. You'll see that I won $10,000. And the only thing I really need to do is give them some routing numbers to my bank so they can just go ahead and put that money in, and we're all set. We're good to go. I have an email from dietnotice.com. They're willing to let me lose 60 pounds in 60 days. Guess what? I just had to give them $10,000. Chumps. All right, so today we're here with Joe Lalich, also known as Lunar Boy.
Yeah.
And Joe, about a week ago, we stopped by your house to see your studio and your technical setup. Why don't we go look at that and see it?
All right, we've been at this for a few hours here. We've been following anything anybody has to say, any leads we could get. And I think we're finally here at Joe Lalich's house. We have a delivery for him, so why don't we go see if he's home? A pizza for Joe! Are you Joe Lalich? Welcome to Pizza Talk!
Pizza Talk.
We're here with Joe Lalich. He lives here in his house. Joe, why don't you show me around?
As you can see, our room isn't, it's not, a quadrilateral shape. It's a hexagon, I think. So that's something interesting that people don't typically notice that, I like to point it out.
You can see right through the tables.
This is all the equipment I use typically to make music. A lot of the times I play piano, so I'll use this to, play on and play out melodies, ideas that I have, and that's I mainly use this keyboard a lot for playing out bass sounds and a bunch of different whatever comes to mind, and any melody idea for melody that I get, I typically just play it on this keyboard right here. We've got the family drawing board. Whenever we get ideas, we can just sketch them up real quick for the rest of the family to see. It's really innovative, and it helped nurture my my artisticness a lot.
Hi. We're
Over here I have my my MPD, which is kind of like an MPC drum pad, and that's something really simple. It's just I play drum sounds on it if I have them. I trigger drum sounds through it. I mean, you could do anything really. Just with this, you could trigger drum sounds as well. But with this, I like to put drum sounds on it because it's easier to play on. Each pad is way bigger and it's easier to use. And I just have these two speakers. These two these are M Audio too. These are BX5A speakers. I got them when I got my microcord because I needed speakers for them. So that's kind of all impromptu. I mostly focus on, when it comes to equipment and stuff, I mostly focus on what I actually use on my computer, rather than what I use to, control what I use on my computer. We've got various seeds and herb type things. I wouldn't go as far to call them herbs, but they're definitely in the herb family. We've got our own little jar of oranges. We can smash avocados with that.
Quinoa in Joe's kitchen.
I only use one synth that's external. I use Logic as my digital audio workstation, and I use Massive as my synth because I used to make a lot of dubstep. And that's embarrassing, and we don't have to get back into that time in my life, but I still use the same thing from when I used it back then because I'm just used to it. So I make all my synth sounds from that. You can see we have dog water and dog food, and that's kind of what I was hinting at. It's made of dogs. As far as production, like actual production, I'm terrible. Like that's my weakest part of what I do. I don't have the patience to like EQ something out. I mean, it'll sound decent. Like if you listen to anything that I do, it'll sound decent, but it's never, EQ'd right or anything like that. And I definitely need to work on that. But for me, I mostly focus on composition and like when I'm making a song, it doesn't even cross my head to EQ it still, even though I've been working with a computer for like the past 4 or 5 years while making music. It just doesn't cross my head. So I'd mostly just like to play it out and get it out as fast as I can. Not because I have a sense of urgency necessarily, but that's just the way I end up working. Everybody walks into my house, the first thing they notice, it catches their eye immediately, it's the pears. It's because typically if you have a painting of a pear hanging up, it's just one, right? It's just one singular pear painting like this. Now, we've got all 3 colors, we've got green, orange, and red. And people walk in and they're going down the stairs or they're going up the stairs and they're just honestly blown away. To be honest, the pears, I've talked a lot about things that mean a lot to me in my house, and when I see the pears, sometimes I just break down because it reminds me of like a lot of like emotional things, like about my family and how I was raised. So these are the pears, and they mean a lot to me. So. Thank you all for watching me show you around my house. It means a lot to me, and I hope you took away a little bit of what it means for me to live right here and share my experiences with you guys. So hope you enjoyed.
All right, now we're back with Quick Pizza. We're going to put 30 seconds on the clock, and Joe's going to answer some questions.
I ask the tough questions.
Who's the least influential person that you've encountered in your entire life?
Kid Rock.
All right, number one thing you put quinoa on?
My toast.
Toast. The number one office supply that you cannot live without?
Paper clips.
Paper clips.
Paper clips is definitely.
That's a good answer. All right. If you could eat a pizza with someone living or dead, who would it be? What would the toppings be, and why?
Shel Silverstein and sardines.
Sardines. All right. How would you describe your sleeping patterns with just one word?
Sporadic.
Sporadic. All right. Your favorite letter of the alphabet?
Why?
How high up is the sky?
30.
30. Okay. How many planets are there?
25.
Name them.
Pluto, Jupiter, Mars. Jupiter, Mars.
Those are 2 good ones. 2 good planets. We'll just chalk that up to an A+. Who's the 52nd president of the United States?
Colonel Sanders.
The worst job you could ever imagine? Being a TV talk show host. And that was 30 seconds of Quick Pizza. We're here with Joe Lalich again, and we're going to eat a pizza and talk. Today, we have this pizza. We ordered the Hawaiian option with pineapple and ham. Well, all right, Joe, we have a pineapple and ham pizza, also known as a Hawaiian pizza, for those of you who do not know, Canadians. And why don't you just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, my name is Joe Lalich. Recently changed my music production name to Lunar Boy, and I'm from Chesterfield, Michigan, the greatest place on earth. And I've been doing this since I was 10 or 11 years old.
10 or 11 years old. And how old are you now?
16.
That's impressive. So you have a music background, and I'm just curious, what got you interested in music? Was obviously at a young age, 10 or 11. What really got you started?
Well, I started by taking drum lessons because I listened to a lot of music. And from then on, I just kind of started working on writing my own drum pieces on sheet music, and then I moved into piano and other things, and I eventually got my computer, found GarageBand, and got started making beats for rappers who went to my school. They're terrible, but I did that, and then kind of evolved into its own thing now.
So how would you describe your music as a whole to someone who's never heard you, and they say, Joe, you make music. What is it?
I'd say that it's whatever I feel like I'm doing. So, it's along lines of, a lot of future-based music, and from that to even soul music and classical even. It's all over the place, but I think there's a there's something that's carried between all my music. So if you like one song, I feel like you'll like the next one just as much, even if it's completely different. Like I could write a polka song and then a deathcore song, and I think somebody who likes one of them will like the other, just because I feel like that carries for me.
You're on a label right now at this point?
One officially, but two kind of.
Really?
Yeah.
Why don't you tell me about that?
The one I'm on from Detroit, it's a pretty good label run by my friend Jesse Augustine. He lets me do whatever I want. You know what I mean? Like, I can release like ambient music that's like insane. That took me like 3 days to make, or he'll let me like do like little short films or anything I want to do. He's like supportive. So that's awesome. Like he's helping me get studio time and stuff like that. To record instruments and stuff. He's very helppful. So I'm with a pretty good label. And recently I emailed Pelican Fly and told them, showed them my music, kind of just a shot in the dark thing, and they responded. They wanted me to do a remix, like an official remix for one of the songs off an upcoming EP.
Right.
And I did it like twice in 1 week. I was unhappy with the first product, so I did it again. And I sent it in, they loved it. And DJ Slow, who's like one of my favorite DJs, period, right now, he has a mix called As the World Turns Slow, Chapter 2, or Volume 2, and he put my song in it, so that was awesome. To
Really?
see him. He owns Pelican Fly, so
Oh, okay.
it was
All right.
awesome to see. Like, I just kind of get home and, get home from school and I just start working on a song, or I'll finish a movie and I'll be inspired by, like, the, maybe even, like, the ending credits, and I'll do a song based off that. So a lot of it I don't release, but, it's all, like, I do it all just because I feel the need to. Like, I'm very compulsed to do it, but as far as releasing it goes, I don't feel any, like, any need to. I just kind of do.
Do you think making music has affected your taste in music at all?
That's a difficult question. I'd like to say it does, because I will try to find music that's kind of, I feel like what, any musician, what they like is something that they would want to make. So now that I'm getting my own visions more, like as I develop it more, I try to find music that's more of what I do. But the plans I have for the future, I haven't heard anything like it, or anything like too similar to like, for me to like, because of the music I make. So as far as like things I'm making in the future, that's all I'm trying to focus on my path that I've already thought about and like planned out and everything. Like I have a vision,
Okay, so yeah, no, that's awesome. Mm-hmm. That's inspiring. Well, you've had different aliases over the course of this. You want to talk about those a little bit?
Well, so I played drums my whole life, right? And that's all I did. Like ever since I was like 4 years old, I just played snare drum set, like jazz drums, everything. I was so sick of the drums by the time I started like actually writing music that I had an ambient alias called Cyclo, and I released one full-length album and one EP, which is a lot because I tend to work very sporadically, and I don't typically put things in huge chunks. I kind of put it out song by song, but for me, like that was huge. I was working a lot as Cyclo for like 2 to 3 years. I think from 2011, so I was like 13 or something, to early 2013 was when I was doing that Cyclo thing, and I just wrote music based on however I felt. I was watching the TV show Twin Peaks at the time, and I made a lot of songs based off of that. And there's some songs with drums, but I just did not want to hear the drum sound in it at all anymore. Like I was sick of hearing the drums, so I did ambient music, and that's basically that. It kind of honed my songwriting skills, because I had been playing the drums my whole life, and I had more of a sense of like rhythm. But when it comes to actual songs, like I was able to take it and just have like piano or just have like whatever instrument, and I was able to like get the songs exactly how I wanted them to sound,
right, melodically
and harmonically. So it was a good practice, and I like it still to this day. I don't listen to any of my own music really, but as far as what I like, I'm very proud of that stuff for the most part.
So you have goals as a musician to be so good or to be able to do certain things at a certain point. Do you feel that you are where you should be right now, and do you believe you're headed down the right path?
I believe that I'm headed down the right path, but I don't like. I think a huge reason of why I think I'm going to be successful when I'm older is because I don't let myself rest really. I kind of even if I'm happy with what I'm doing, I don't like. It doesn't satisfy me necessarily. So I wouldn't say it's like a necessary. It's not like a hunger really. It's more of like just a thing. It's just natural for me to be that way.
Right.
So I think I'm just gonna keep going, and if I get where I want to, then sure. And if not, then that's okay too. I mean, I'm just doing what I do, and like that's just naturally who I am. Like I'm not pushing myself to push harder. It's like happening on my own. I'll make more music just because I feel like it, not because I'm trying to push myself necessarily.
Well, thanks for coming on, Joe. We really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed the pizza.
No, I definitely did.
All right.
See you next week.
Pizza Talk with Dan Hickey.
Pizza Talk with Dan Hickey. Pizza Talk with Dan Hickey.